Wow. 2020 has been interesting. So it is 1:30 a.m. I just finished uploading a couple videos for today. Uh, and I went on Twitter and I saw that President Trump had tested positive for Corona. And I was hesitant about making this video, and I was trying to think like, what is the best way for me to talk about this? And I think the first thing I want to say is that I wish the president a speedy recovery. My thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. It looks like he contracted it after being around a senior aide who also had come down with the virus as well. The first lady also has tested positive as well, and they will be quarantining. So I wish the president a speedy recovery. And on Twitter, obviously, social media is just a clown show. You can already see that the liberals are celebrating this as just some type of victory, and it's like, guys, this is the leader of the free world. Like, regardless of how you feel about him personally, you should not wish any harm or bad things on the person that is leading this country. That's why we have elections for. If the American people don't want President Trump to be president anymore, then that's why we have an election, and that election is a month away. There's no need to go out there and celebrate and to post memes of President Trump passing away, and just, it's really hard for me to imagine how people can celebrate something like this so quickly and so soon. I mean, the first thing I'm thinking about is like, well, I hope he's okay, right? Like, I hope he's doing well. He seemed like he was doing well. I mean, he seemed like he was in good shape during the debate. He wasn't out of breath or anything like that. So, that's the first thing I want to say. And, condemn the liberals, because they, love condemnation nowadays for anybody who wishes, bad things on the president, President Trump passing away. And just, I'm warning you, if you don't want to get pissed off, don't go on liberal Twitter. Don't go under President Trump's tweet. Just don't. Just don't, because it's what you're gonna see that the liberals are saying about this man is just, and hoping on this man and wishing on this man is just despicable, man. Like, honestly, it's the lamest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, how lame can you be to wish the worst on this man? I mean, he's our president. Like, he's your president, whether or not you want him to be president or not. It's anti-American, man. Like, it really is. Like, this country, regardless of how you feel about President Trump, this country has not fell apart. This country is still the best country in the world. It's still the land of opportunity. Nothing has changed under President Trump. So the amount of hate and vitriol that I see coming from the left on Twitter is just absolutely unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. And is the media going to denounce the left? That's the question. Is the media going to denounce the hate from the left on Twitter tomorrow? Because the media is it's gonna be a SHIT storm. That's what it's gonna be tomorrow. This is gonna be nonstop media coverage. I mean, they've been hoping that this happens for the longest time. They've been wishing and praying. That's what they've been doing. And they got what they want. And now, nonstop media coverage tomorrow. Will anybody in the media denounce the left for this? We'll see. I doubt it, but yeah, they're going to sit here and try to virtue signal to us and try to act like they're above the fray and that they're so moral. But yet, they're not going to denounce any one of these people wishing the worst on our president. They're not going to do it. And this is where we're at. This is where we're at. But I want to talk about my own personal coronavirus story, because I had contracted the virus probably a month ago now, or maybe even longer than that. And just my own experience with it. I mean, if you guys had the virus, feel free to let me know in the comment section what your experience with it was. So I'm just gonna talk about my experience. So I actually had contracted the virus after being around some friends, hanging out, and I had contracted it. I was working out, and I had a day where I was sprinting. Right? I was doing like high intensity cardio, and I've been working out with my nephew. I've been around my family. So later in the afternoon when I was sprinting, like I noticed that like my chest, I started getting chest pains, and my throat started hurting, and I just didn't feel well in general. So then I get a text message from a friend telling us that the friends who was hanging out with that weekend had tested positive for corona. So I'm like, oh man, here we go. So the next day, I think it was like a Thursday, it got worse, right? Like I got a little bit more sick, and then I ended up testing, and then lo and behold, I had tested positive. So my main symptoms were like a head cold, sore throat, chest pain, fatigue, and dizziness. But it was like a minor cold. It wasn't anything that was super duper terrible. Like I feel like the flu is like 10 times, 20 times worse than that. Like I feel like I've had common colds that were worse than corona, but it just lingered around for a long time. So even after 2 weeks, when I started trying to work out again, I still had like kind of shortness of breath, and it was still hard to work out. Even after 2 weeks of quarantine, it wasn't as easy. I mean, I'm back into it now, but I'm still not even kind of back where I was before Corona. So it kind of lingers around for a long time in terms of the after effects. But it's definitely one of those things where, I don't really think it's as serious as the media makes it out to be, because I feel like I have made 100% recovery from it. It wasn't that bad at all. It was like getting like a very mild cold, really, to be quite honest with you. I did have, a lot of symptoms, but they were very, very mild. And the weird part about it is that my nephew didn't get it. My brother gave me a haircut literally like 2 or 3 days after I had contact. He gave me a haircut. I had been working out with my nephew. I've been around my family, and none of those people, any of them, contracted it. I mean, I had spent a whole probably hour, 2 hours in a car with a friend, and he didn't get it. So it's weird because apparently it's so contagious, but when I had it, I couldn't pass it to anybody. Nobody that I had been around had actually got it from me. So it's really weird. So I'm hoping that President Trump has a mild version of this virus. And I'm praying for a speedy recovery. He does his quarantine. Hopefully he gets through it. And, I'm just praying for the best. I just want to go ahead and put my thoughts out there about it because I had this virus. Obviously, I'm not 74. I'm not in the high risk group. So really, his situation may or may not be different than mine. But, this is just kind of my thoughts on it. And this is something that's really hard to speak on because it is an evolving situation. So, if and I'm curious, if any of you guys have had it, let me know. What were your symptoms? Like, was it bad? Do you know somebody else who had it? How bad was it for them? Let me know. I'm curious to hear your corona story, and we can share our thoughts and obviously, send our best wishes and prayers to President Trump's family and hope for a speedy recovery. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Peace.